Hello, hello.
Hello, we are here.
Hello.
I am seeing. Oh, there we go. Hello, hello, audience. Can you hear the things that are coming out of my mouth? There's audio happening.
Looks like
Can
we
you
got
hear
some
me
decent
and
audio.
also the construction noises in my building, which are going to be fun, fun,
Hey,
fun.
at least it's not a fire alarm this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yet.
they hear us. Audio is happening. Yeah,
Excellent.
just don't say that. So I apologize in advance, oh audience, for any banging that you might hear. They are building a new roof on our building, and they decided that today was a good day to do a whole bunch of it. So that said, I shall jump into it. Welcome, internet friends and webcomic fans. Fams? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Webcomic fam.
I'm your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist, and I'm welcoming you to a heaping, steamy pile of trash heroes. It's a Dungeons and Dragons stream, and we recount epic adventures of wildly improbable creatures. They're called the Trash Heroes. Here they are. Our players, always, this awesome gang of internet cartoonists. I like the Randy snarl. He's like, I've been on the internet since it was all rocks.
I miss when it
Made
was
of
all
rocks.
It was
I
better
remember
back
when I
then.
could learn HTML in an afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
God. Oh,
But use the
GeoCities.
blank tag. Everyone uses
Those
the
were the
blank tag.
Oh
days.
yeah. Gotta get a web counter.
As always, you can check out the amazing work of these surly cartoonists on the internet at the various links.
Yep.
Please do support your artist. If you don't feed your artist, eventually, they'll bite somebody on the leg, and that's never going to be good. This is how we prevent the spread of tetanus. So please do consider contributing to those Patreons. There's also a Patreon for the stream. We find a link to that in the About section down below. And do check out everybody's amazing comics, ranging from the obscure comic you've never heard of called Popeye to
It's a new thing.
the
It's a wacky
yeah,
idea.
it's this crazy woke comic apparently about
Yeah.
people being other genders and stuff.
About
I don't
trans
know,
sailors.
Impossible.
but yeah,
It's my favorite kind of sailors.
wacky.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
And without further ado, let's meet the characters. First up, it is the protector of the trash heap, the keeper of the vermin, fetid Quaggle.
That's me.
Next, we have our larger-than-life pit fighting superstar, Oogna
Yeah.
Sugar Tusks.
Hey everybody.
And then we have our trickster cleric, rogue baker, and all-around party animal, Dwymerdell.
Hi.
And new spider baby father.
Be daddy. Yeah.
And finally, there is, of course, our sweet old grandpa, who just happens to accidentally be an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
Have you seen my wife?
No.
See, what happened
So you
was there was a
retrained.
dark
Oh, Barb.
portal,
Oh God, I forgot about that.
and you
Oh,
said,
Barb.
"Take my wife, please." That's what happened.
Yeah. No, what I should have done in the epic moment in last episode. Actually, you build to it, and then if you could leave a gap in your recap of last episode where I can give an alternate line that Perni could have said, please set me up.
Sure. How about I get into that said recap? We began last game, which was a pretty epic adventure, catching up with Tromlin in hell, who had been banished by a terrible demonic curse, and where naturally he immediately formed up a new party of rebels from lost souls in the abyss to work together for survival. Eventually, he found himself and his team all surrounded by demons with no way out, and he prayed to Lolth and managed to summon up his erstwhile lover, Lolth's avatar, Lady Weft, who introduced him to his demonic spider baby offspring. And he agreed to share custody and limit his worship to only Lolth for a while, while the baby offspring, get their mini legs under them. And in return, he was sent back to the mortal world with a sack full of writhing baby demons. Meanwhile, the rest of the party, we had left off in combat with foe Pernicus, Copernicus's brother-in-law Sheki, inhabiting his own shadow, and the summoned demon Agrajag, who has a huge vendetta for Copernicus. And
Boy.
yeah, and that started off great. The party was hard pressed. There was a swarm of burning demon locusts, and several party members dropped to 0 hit points more than once.
Yup.
But thanks to the timely arrival of Tromlin riding a planar ally in the form of a winged spider, and Copernicus unleashing the full fury of Barb.
That's a hell of a
There's-
quote. A
there's your
full
pause.
fury of Barb.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I think that the epic one-liner should have just been my wife.
Oh yeah.
Just yeah, it would ruin the moment so perfectly. Like it would just be the utter waste of build-up. I think it would have been great.
Excellence. And thus the Barb launched into faux Pernicus's maw, and the machinations of Sheki were foiled, leading to a tearful reunion between Oogna and Tromlin. The team then went after the school kids with their stolen airship and made short work of the remaining demons and saved the day. And that night, while resting, Oogna encountered some local frogs
Yeah.
who had located Copernicus's stuff that was left behind when he poofed, and that included some magic boots, which I have added to Copernicus's character sheet.
I gave them my boots. They have a nice boot castle.
They have a boot to live in.
You could fit a lot of
and
boots into
also-
Oogna's, or a lot of frogs into Oogna's boots.
That's
That sounds like a
Wow.
really weird innuendo.
It's a
not
strange
sure what
euphemism.
for.
It's like, you know what they say, if you can fit a lot of frogs in your boots. Yeah, wink, wink.
Yeah, no, that person they really put a frog in my boot. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
That sounds like an alternate version of spring in my step.
Yeah, I got a frog in my
Yeah.
boot.
Got a frog in my boot.
Oh, I like that. Now it's wholesome again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ends badly for the frog though.
And there was also a black stone heart that turned out to be the keystone for the curse, and so they were able to destroy it, and the curse was finally ended. Fetid is still missing his hand, but it doesn't look like a demonic burn anymore. It just looks
Yeah,
like
now
an
it's
injury.
just a normal stump.
Yeah, so there's some talk that maybe kobolds can grow that kind of thing back. So we'll see what happens.
We'll just rub some
and from
salamanders
there-
on you and hope that helps.
Mhm.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
rub a salamander on the wound. It sounds like a folk remedy.
Yep.
And then you guys made your way back to Dwymerdell using the airship and saved all the kids. And I believe we said there was a great feast in the great hall of the school, and everybody was partying like it was 1647. I don't know. Just pick a year. And that is where we go get back into things. So yeah, you saved all these kids. Copernicus, you've been revealed as the true Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. And it's just the end of Goblet of Fire.
Good. Except Sir Ian McKellen
somebody
and
gives a lot of points to Gryffindor or whatever the hell we called them. That's the house led by Cyclops.
Yes.
Nice.
As we completely blur the lines in our mashup here between X babies and Harry Potter. Okay,
Sweet.
so yeah, you are fed and fetid and
No, he's fetid.
Yeah.
ply with
Well,
drinks.
that's what
Haha, fetid was fetid. That's a really weird and obscure homophone there. And of course, you've got rooms for the night to rest from your rather arduous labors.
While we're here, I'm gonna see if I can get like a cow or something for my babies.
Ooh, you're real quiet, Randy. I've got you maxed. But
It's
Might
better.
just need to be a little.
That's a
just
little
need to be
better, yeah.
closer.
Good?
Yep.
there we go. Your levels look better.
Can you hear me
Sounds
now?
good.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds good.
Good, I can't hear any of you though.
Oh.
That's bad. That's bad.
I hear you. Whoa.
All right, good.
That's good.
This has been That's Bad, That's Good with the Trash Heroes gang.
It's like a Sesame Street routine.
Yeah. Instead of near far.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be a much darker. It's a
In our case,
bad,
though, it's
good.
mostly it's bad. It's
And
bad.
bad
It's
mistake.
bad.
Shit
Worse.
aside.
That bit
Bad.
from Treehouse of Horror, Frogurt. It comes with a Frogurt. It's good. The Frogurt is also cursed.
That's a Simpsons bit, I believe.
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh,
The
gotcha. I missed the Simpsons.
I said Treehouse of Horror,
Line.
but yeah.
I
Anyway.
recently was reminded that Simpsons is still on television,
Yep.
and someone on Twitter was talking about like when the last time they actually watched an episode of The Simpsons was, and I was like, wow, when was the last time I watched an episode of The Simpsons? And it's like been like 20 years,
Wow.
which is
Yeah.
yep. There is only one constant. When the heat death of the universe, there will be a Simpsons episode playing.
Yeah,
I believe
I lost interest. They were trying again after apparently they had a little hissy fit episode about all the blowback on a poo. They basically try to like both sides it.
Oh, I remember
No.
that.
Your
Yeah.
characters are
That
racist
was some
characters.
nonsense.
Sorry.
They also had
People you're making fun of have called you out on it. Listen to them. You're all white.
yeah. They also had Lisa be a Elon Musk stan in one of the recent episodes.
Oh, gross.
Yep.
Well, they had her be the one to chide the audience for not accepting a poo. Stereotype.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Well,
Anyway.
let's get This is a much better game. Like The Simpsons was a D&D game. Actually,
Right, now
that
we know who the
said,
next NPC is gonna be.
yay! It's not Barb, it's Bart. Right. That's what I don't know what else works.
I do like Trash
Giant-
Hero
Giant
Barbage
Lisa.
Day. Barbage Day is very good.
Oh yeah. Trash Heroes Barbage Day. That was the episode. That was the name of that episode. The title of
Yep.
that episode. I'm sure. Speaking of which, though, I think it's a good time to just get right out of the gate with a poll. So I will ask my shadow DM
Out of the
if
chat.
he would be willing to throw a poll up in the chat, and I will ask my players to step away
Unleash the
from
pole.
Yoli chat. Okay, there it is. So, as always, audience, everybody gets to vote. You can vote additional times if you'd like to with channel points. I am only going to do one of these, so if we get a tie, I'm going to roll off, but feel free to throw some votes in there, folks. And we've made it a more reasonable exchange for channel points. Sadly, Twitch has full-on pulled the plug on bits for votes.
Yep.
I do not know why, but it's a thing they done did.
UN came down on them.
Yep. In any case, quite possibly somebody like ran afoul of gambling laws, I imagine.
Oh, maybe.
They've already had a
Because
problem
you
with
could-
that.
Yeah, because you could
Recently, yeah.
absolutely you could use some
Yeah.
form of poll as a gambling thing.
Apparently, what they were actually doing is using custom skins in CS:GO, which can be sold for real money as effectively gambling chips
Really?
on video
Wow.
game matches. Yeah, and a bunch of really big-time Twitch people threatened to go on strike if they didn't shut it down, and so, of course, they shut it down very rapidly at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they
My
don't talk about like the neo-Nazi hate
goodness.
raids and shit like that, but I guess gambling's
Yeah.
important too.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, as always, the poll will run for 10 minutes, probably more like about 9 now, but keep those votes a-coming. I am excited to see which of these options is going to be the one that happens. So in the meantime, you guys are pretty exhausted. The kids are still very exhausted. They had multiple levels of exhaustion.
Right.
So from a game mechanics perspective, that just means it takes more than one night to
I mean,
get
it
rid of
takes
those
years
exhaustion
to
points.
recover from burnout.
But in any case, please do feel free to let me know what you guys, anything in particular you guys are doing tonight as you bed down and get some rest.
I'd like to get some grandpa time in helping with the slaughtering of the cow. That seems like a good activity to do as a family.
Oh, you're pretty quiet too, Peter.
Okay, I can just.
Oh,
naturally-
I hear Peter perfectly.
Oh, really?
I can just talk louder, maybe.
Yeah, I
Okay.
hear him okay.
Yeah, that's better.
The
All
one that matters most is
Yeah.
Elena's because that's where the recording is happening.
Oh
So
yeah,
Yep.
okay.
just want to make sure
Jeez.
Alina's
I've
got
got
the recording sound
I've got you
levels.
cranked, so
I was saying that I would love to
There we go.
join Trommelin and the next generation of grandkids for the slaughtering of the cow. It just seems like a great family activity. I think
Aw.
that's something we could all be a part of together.
Indeed. I imagine they have like maybe even like sheep. Certainly at a weird magic school, they definitely have some animals that can be used for sacrifices as necessary. They would have to keep some livestock around.
I'm gonna start a bit that I'm gonna now do every time we do a cow sacrifice, which is like, all right, how are we gonna decide who gets to do the kill stroke? I know, it should be the oldest one of us. And then the kids will be like, Grandpa, you always say that, and it's always you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I, hand one of them the knife.
You hold like the
awesome.
mallet in their little tiny hand.
Absolutely.
oh yeah.
Bring it down to the base of the skull. It's like a more heartwarming version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay if they suffer a little or a lot.
Mhm.
That's how they know they were alive.
Gosh.
Yikes.
So dark.
Whew.
Yikes. I'd say there's like trash heroes after dark, except like there's not like it's already
Not
trash
really
heroes
much
Yeah.
after dark.
difference.
Yeah, we do our crimes against nature and
Any time of the
God
day.
right in the brightest of light.
Oh yeah.
Indeed.
Peter, go home.
Yeah.
I'm also picturing this like interplay of Grandpa between the spider babies and Copernicus as taking place entirely in hissing abyssal. Just
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Do the babies talk yet,
Just
or are they
these
just still kind of like just
terrifying
clicking
noises.
and hissing?
no, they make weird clicks and chittering noises and
Good.
like demonic
But they seem to understand
howls
abyssal.
and hisses. Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. Oh my goodness, this is a tight race, people.
Ooh.
Man,
o-
people can't
outside
make
of
up their minds.
outside of the cow slaughtering time, I do think I want to get a start on using my new and lovely library access. My library card. I'm going to use the
Hey.
most powerful item of all, my library card, and I'm going to go do some research. I want to learn more about what happened with my shadow, like what cosmically happened, and I would definitely want to learn what is most likely where Barb most likely is. And I want to learn more about the rune magic and the missing rune that I saw, but that's going to be it's not as urgent as
Barb
where's-
comes
where's
first.
my wife.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So some experimenting with Barb first. So in the night, since everybody else is a different kind of experimenting with Barb than you normally do.
I'm gonna say.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. How
Yeah, I
do
think
you
once we
gift
get
a
some
sub?
food into Oogna, she's going straight to bed. Her and Trey are just like passing
there
out.
Are gifting subs, when you try to do like the sub button, it will ask if you want to like gift it for yourself or gifting it to someone. And then once you commit how much money, it chooses people at random.
I'm just trying to think of things to do with my own channel points because like I have a lot of them.
Oh, I don't know,
feel
like,
like-
from the channel, running the channel end. How it
Yeah, it
works.
doesn't look like channel points are work that way, but
I don't think so.
it's all
either.
good. So everybody else like crashes exhausted for some deep rest. You stay up for a while, Tromlin, with feeding sacrificial sheep's blood to the baby spider demons, as one does. Phrases that you hear on this show, not Critical Role. And then once everybody's comfortably snoozing, Copernicus, you obviously, since you don't sleep, can just wander off to the library. So of course, the halls of the school at night. Whoa! Something weird just happened.
Oh yes.
Alina, I think you changed screens.
That's right. Yep.
There's
we
strange
go, we're
things
back.
happening on the.
I was trying to adjust a setting, but it did not. I forgot I cannot do that while we're live.
I have
Oh,
lost
what have
sight
I
of
done?
everyone but you, Alina.
Yep. What the heck?
We have
Oh
broken
no,
our
I've
video.
broken the screen. I'm going back to a different
Well,
screen
I'll take
and
a
then
moment to just remind everybody that we're down to the last couple minutes of the poll. So
Well.
get them votes in, folks. It's
I
still
was trying to mess
theoretically
with our
anybody's
sound
race.
and it didn't work. So I'm gonna fix that.
Let's bring that poll home.
Okay, I think I fixed it. Except for Lane. Lane, you're not visible.
Oh no. I am no longer. So Copernicus, you go off in the darkness and the DM disappears. Ooh, scary.
First my wife, then the DM. Who's left? Who's left?
It's good. You guys can keep going. I'm fixing
All right.
this.
Okay. I'll just continue to DM from the void. So it's all good.
Good.
So of course it's nighttime in the Sunshine School for Peculiar Youngsters. Or wait, it's not peculiar, is it? No, it is peculiar.
Yeah, peculiar.
I keep forgetting. I don't have it open in front of me. And as such, it's an absolute creep fest. So you go wandering off in the dark halls, and there's like weird moaning noises, and occasionally a ghost flits past the edge of your vision. Things are moving and scuttering around in the dark shadows.
Just like my high school.
And you make your
I was
way.
the thing in the shadows.
I was the thing in the shadows. Yeah, and then eventually you make your way to the library, which is an enormous room. The door, of course, opens as you approach it. You hear a disembodied voice saying, "Good evening, Professor," because of course you have access now.
Yeah.
Oh, last few seconds on the poll, everybody. This is your last chance. Last chance to change what we end up with. And a sudden rush. Are we going to have a sudden flip? Oh my goodness! Someone gamed the poll here with a real sudden mass of channel points. All right. Thank you very much, audience, for that vote. The poll is now ended, and I think we can now get our players back in the chat. So the door of the library swings open. You hear this disembodied voice. You go in, and of course, it is this huge room lit only by moonlight. It has a ceiling very much like the Great Hall that's kind of like the weird hollow ceiling. But it basically just shows kind of the time of day. Oh, Alina, our video is screwed up again. Now I'm the only one that works.
How the hell is this happening?
Ha 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 ha.
What?
Now I'm the only one here.
No.
I'm running this game by myself now.
I'm not even on that screen anymore. It's just looking at a different input source, and I don't know why. What the hell is
Hooray.
happening?
This may be an interesting stream.
Yes, we've all disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
We can just do the whole game from the map screen.
Yeah, that's good.
That'll be
That's
fine.
good.
Okay, so
Why? Why is this happening? Sorry. Oh, did I fix it?
That's what I ask myself every
Okay,
morning.
I didn't fix it, but I broke it in a different way.
yay, I'm no longer in the void. Instead, I'm a text channels menu.
Oh no, what have I done?
Great.
Oh, I'm very good at this. I am... What the hell?
There's nothing like doing like IT troubleshooting live.
Live?
And you're on
Yeah,
camera,
it's
and
my
also you're
favorite.
not sure which part of your camera is showing which part of what you're
But
doing.
it's all
Okay.
good. With this screen up, I'm the only one who can't see, and it
Fixed it.
doesn't matter.
Hey,
Fixed.
we did it.
Maybe.
The curse is
Let's-
broken.
Don't ever try to adjust the sound
Something's
levels.
broken.
All right. We sand how we sand.
Exactly. Okay. So, the ceiling here in the
Fine,
library
too.
is like literally got the creepy full moon in it, or like a few days past the full moon now. and otherwise it looks like just a kind of creepy, cloudy, murky sky, with this eerie moonlight bathing all of the bookshelves. Some of the bookshelves are, some of the books kind of like glow eerily, like it's that kind of a library. Some of the books here have like, fiery red lettering on the spine that lets you know that, it's in the cursed section. There's a section where it's like, these are the books you read that will immediately curse you.
Good, good.
Note to
Other
self, stay
sections
out
have
there.
like the books kind of like float away from the shelves every once in a while, and they're on chains, so they come back, kind of like acting surly because they're unhappy about it. But yeah, through the distant howls of there's always howling in the basement, which just by sheer coincidence happens to be near Professor Werewolfman's
Oh yeah.
office.
Yeah, that's
No one's
weird.
really sure why.
Yeah.
It's just a
Not
weird
a
quirk of the
werewolfman.
acoustics.
Professor
It's
not a
a
werewolfman.
quirk of the acoustics
Yeah.
of the building. But here you are in the library. There's a few random ghosts, like doing some light reading here and there, and an invisible servant librarian manifests near you. You just kind of see glints of red eyes and nothing else, and it says, "How may I help you, Professor?"
I am looking for books on why my shadow might abduct a school full of children for human sacrifice in the Badlands. What you got for me? What number is that section?
Fiction or non-fiction?
Not very much nonfiction.
Very well. This way. And it leads you into one of these huge spiraling staircases into one of the upper levels of the library, and to a wing on where it's like all books about Shadowfell and planar cosmology.
We lost a Randy.
Oh.
Oh.
Jeff is running the game now.
Oh,
no.
okay.
All right, Jeff.
Everybody
DM.
dies.
I hit it with my axe.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm not a player anymore.
No, you're good. We're
I
back.
probably crashed.
That's fine.
You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you. That was scary.
Yeah. So he, this disembodied voice and eyes leads you to this area. Lots of titles on shadow magic and the dark planes. A lot of books that are like the book is like printed with like Vanta black or whatever. Like it's just like it doesn't look. It looks like a void-shaped void or a book-shaped void on the shelf instead of an actual book. Stuff like that. You're like, how do you even read that? I don't understand.
It
It's
reads you.
printed in black on black. I'm reminded of just a random old gamer anecdote to the first edition Vampire the Masquerade games, when they printed their creepy Book of Nod type weird prophecy books for kind of in-game and out-of-game props. And there were several pages that were printed in gloss black on matte black.
Ooh.
Of course.
That you had to like read by using light angles because you couldn't actually make out what it said on the pages.
I hate shit
yeah,
like that.
There's like a whole book of that for sure.
So Vampire the Masquerade.
Nice.
It's like written by like, Angst Gothman.
Oh, the 90s. Oh, the 90s goth scene especially.
Yep.
Oh dear, yeah.
Angst Gothman of the Transylvania Gothmans.
Old Unky Angst.
Yep. So, what are you looking for? Some academic. Let's have some academia role playing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This will be
Riveting.
pleasing only to me.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna start by going through the different book indexes and looking up the following keywords.
All right.
Then,
Which parts? So let's make some Dewey Decimal System rolls.
all right. So I'm going to. I'm specifically looking for stuff that will explain how my shadow was created, what my shadow might have wanted, and that as background for figuring out where Barb might have gone as a result of this, and also like what that portal was exactly. I know
So
it's.
just
I have
for certain, so you have certain information about this already,
yeah.
right?
So I
Because you
think it
do
was my.
know.
I think it was my
Yeah.
patron through the portal.
Yeah.
And I think that I know that this was in some way a test of my ability to warlock and load, and
Hey.
that I sort of I didn't like fail so hard that I died and lost my powers. So if it's pass fail, that's pass. I wouldn't say with flying colors, but flying something. So yeah, I want to figure out a little bit more about like what made this happen. The more I understand about the nature of this entire phenomenon, the more I think I can try and figure out exactly what happened to Barb, or if it's just if there's a much straighter line to like figure out how to get to my patron, therefore how to get to Barb. I'll take that. But I feel like
Yeah.
there's more. It's more complicated than that, possibly.
Mm-hmm. So that makes it a lot easier, honestly, because you're basically looking for literature on stuff you already know a lot about. Now, again, we didn't establish 100%, and
So
this is maybe new information for the stream, but like, worth kind of getting out there, that we still have not established to what extent Copernicus really gets the whole warlock thing, and to what extent Copernicus was conned into signing something that he
yeah,
didn't read.
he's still definitely a little bit uh, both conned and also in denial. Like he has
Yeah.
structured his reality around a certain set of assumptions. Like I think in his mind, he literally thinks that Barb is his patron to a certain extent. A certain extent to
Which
which
that's good to know, right? So like you're not looking necessarily. Do you even know the name of the patron in character?
I'm gonna say in character, it certainly like it rings a bell that I like immediately grab the bell and stop it from vibrating because I don't like the sound of it. I think that's what it is. And I think on some level I'm probably aware of it, but I've structured so much of my like self-concept and grip on reality around not thinking about it that way. Yeah.
Because this determines where you go looking in the library, right? Because like if you know the name of the patron, like you go straight for that. You're like, I want to find anything about this entity and its powers and so on, and that'll directly give you
I,
information on the rest of it.
I
But
think I'm
if not,
vaguely
you could
aware
just
that
be
like
looking up Barb.
I think I'd be looking up Barb, and I think I'd also be looking up, and probably pretty quickly after like reminding myself about Barb and the name of her patron. I think I would be looking up. Okay, well maybe that's a lead. Her patron might know something, or her patron could be involved in this whole thing, or something. So I certainly would end up there, but maybe not by the most direct road.
Okay, well, roll me. What do I want you to roll for an academia type thing here? Is it straight up Arcana?
I'm just imagining that you think Barb is like your supervisor, and now you have to try and call Barb's supervisor,
Supervisor,
get
yeah,
some answers.
yeah. And I don't have
You know
access to
what?
that level of the directory, but
No.
Straight up history
straight up
is
history.
probably
All
the
right.
closest thing we can do to like a general academia.
Hey, there we go. That's a 29.
Ooh.
Okay,
Pretty good.
so all right, so you go looking for information about Barbarhotep II, Achtet Ra, a name, of course, Achtet Ra, that translates more or less to the radiance of the heavens, which,
Okay.
of course, is
Sunshine.
how you came up with the name Sunshine. It's a translation of your wife's last name. Did we decide what Copernicus's maiden name was?
Aw.
To say
Yeah,
for whatever you want to call it.
I think it was going to be like the most white bread name.
Yeah, it was like
that we could-
really.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was just going to be Smith or something else like that, but like it was something really, really, really tremendously boring and common.
But in any case, yeah, you start looking into this and very quickly find information about ancient civilizations. And of course, so stop me here if anything of this starts to become something that makes Copernicus like flee.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if Copernicus comes across something that makes that would make him go,
I think
I'm going to stop reading this because I don't want to learn.
I think he'd be more likely to be like, oh, that's so funny. The historian got that so wrong. I know that. And then he would just revert it back to whatever he thinks, however he thinks the world works.
Yeah, okay. So there is information about an ancient civilization that is frequently referred to by scholars as the Shukek civilization. And it was largely because of worship of a particular entity or god known as Shukek-Za. Or it's unclear if this was like an actual part of a pantheon god or more like an avatar / like a powerful entity. There's a lot of the information really makes it sound like a lich or like a lich like, powerful lich like creature. But then it's kind of confusing, as much ancient records tend to be, because in some cases the sort of lich creature is Barbar Hotep, and in other cases Barbar Hotep is a mortal queen or empress that is like kind of like a priest of Shukek. And so you start parsing together that, based on the paradigm you kind of understand here about this warlock thing, that Shukek-Za is the name of the patron, and Barb, as you know, or Barbar Hotep, that's coming up in the literature, is the warlock.
Yeah.
And of course, you get the impression that as a warlock, Barb got pretty powerful, and that's probably why there's some lack of clarity over exactly who people were worshiping.
Yeah.
But you also like, and again, I'll let you decide to what degree you remember the deserts of Ix, and you remember these black stone monuments and pyramids and things that are kind of like lost in the desert that you remember exploring with Barb as part of your adventures, that seem to be, according to these books, connected.
I think Perni would remember pretty well, because like there might be little bits that he like blacked out, but I think a lot of it would be stuff that he'd hold on to. It's a Barb memory, right? Like he has a scrapbook for a reason.
Exactly. I guess it's the context that I'm not sure he would fully.
Yeah.
I think it's all going to be very dressed up.
Yeah.
Does that sound?
We were on vacation and traveling. We were just having fun. Barb had to do a couple business calls, here and there.
She would.
You have to.
That's short for business cauldron.
Of course.
And in the stories, of course, you also read about a period of upheaval in the Sukek. They would say like a era. It's like a Shang dynasty kind of thing, whatever. It's like a or a Ming. It's like a particular region, particular era of the Ixian desert cultures. There was a period of upheaval because of the people and their worship being split between the great empress / goddess Barbar Hotep and the the rival god Shekemtut Aketra. And Shekemtut and Barbarhotep were said to be siblings that were the children of the god Shukekza. Shukekza is occasionally described as Lord of Shadows, and so there's a lot of obvious and strong correlations here. Again, I don't know if you necessarily will like recognize your brother-in-law Sheki in the descriptions.
I think it might take a couple mentions for him to be like, wait a second.
Yep.
Wait a
Sheki.
second.
There's like a drawing, and you're like, wait a minute.
He
I
looks
know that desiccated
familiar.
mummy anywhere. I know
Wait a-
that skeleton wrapped in bandages with a headdress.
Yeah.
I've seen him at family gatherings.
All right. So then it seems like the theory that Perni is piecing together is that probably Sheki was making some kind of like slow lich time beyond the grave power play that he's been thinking about for a long time. I was some kind of vessel involved for that, and because I'm linked to the same entity, probably I'm in their kind of weird eldritch power network. And maybe this whole thing was the setup to get me to bring the bucket. Going after Barb. Maybe it's deeper and more complicated than that. But either way, I think learning more about Shukek's like realm and areas is probably gonna be the way to go about figuring out where Barb might be. That's my theory.
Now, while you're having this this night of research, poring over these books, you'll be so late in the night. Everybody's gone. Even the ghosts have gone to bed. There's like nobody in the library but you.
That's a great book title. Even the
Even the
ghosts
ghosts
have
have
gone
gone.
to bed.
Nice.
I'd read that.
And you have this one weighty tome that's all printed in black on black, and you're just like using your. You couldn't even read it without ghostly gaze or magic sight or something.
Yeah.
And it's written in abyssal, and just there's several levels of like the book is actively on fire, and you have to like ouch as you turn the pages or whatever. And you'll hear this distant moan that of all the distant moans happens to actually catch your attention, because it sounds like Barb. Just like a moan of like anguish / discomfort coming from somewhere out in the castle.
Okay, I think I am going to prepare a Perni net message, but not send it yet. Like it's Simpsons references. Okay, press 9 and 1, and then like I'm gonna have the emergency call ready to go for like I have gone in search of Barb and something has gone wrong. I'm in a weird
Help.
corridor of the castle. Come find me. Signed Copernicus Son, and then I'll write the shine when if I find myself in need of this emergency message. I'm Perni net, and then I'm gonna go heedlessly off into the darkness and see if I can find.
I'll allow that. I'm kind of like I was like sitting here going, does it transcribe immediately? Because like, wouldn't that be weird if it was like as you write?
Yeah.
So if you like scribble something out, like someone in their brain, they hear, "Dear sir, scritch, 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 madam, scritch, 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 to whom it may concern." Like as you like
Yeah.
change your mind. Yeah, weird. Yeah, I think that makes more sense that it has like a trigger kind of thing that has to be pulled at the end of the message.
Yeah.
So you don't
have to-
drunk dial your
Yeah, you
your
have to
entire
click
network.
send.
Yeah.
All right. And then you go off following the sound. Make me an investigation roll as you attempt. And you can make this investigation roll without
Yeah.
disadvantage because you guys aren't cursed anymore. Yay!
That's a
Woo.
23.
That's a really
What
good
was that?
roll. Shit.
That's a 23.
Nice.
That's a pretty
Pretty.
damn good investigation.
Yeah, Perni's on fire from the book he was reading.
Exactly. You keep trying to put it out, but you're so old and dry, you burn easily.
Well seasoned.
I'm like BC forests during the summer.
Oh no!
Hey.
I don't like this analogy because reality
Because
is
we live in
bad.
it.
Back to D&D. Um,
I assume we're safe to go in the chat,
yeah.
right?
What's that?
Sorry.
I assume we're safe to go in the chat. It's been like 20 minutes.
Yes. Sorry,
Cool, cool.
the poll has ended. I
Hey.
thought I said something when the poll ended, but maybe I forgot to.
I am currently a lamp with a hat on it.
Good.
Hope that's okay.
Yay!
I don't feel like being
It's just
perceived
like-
right now. I'm sorry.
No worries.
If you don't want to be on camera, I can always put the like "don't look at me" thing over you.
If you don't mind,
Yeah, no
I'm
worries.
not feeling great today. Hold on.
There. Now you are not perceived.
Should I turn video off then?
Yep.
If
Oh,
you
I might
just
change
keep
the order.
stay logged in though,
Think,
because
yeah.
otherwise you will our
Alright,
order will be.
I'll leave video on for now.
Yeah,
No, I think
nobody
you
can
can
see you,
turn the
so
video or the camera off, but just don't come out of the channel.
Although actually, I
Yeah.
think because Randy's the last one, yeah, because Randy's the last one in the video order.
he
they
yeah,
don't
it doesn't
shuffle.
bump anything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. It's a weird
No
day.
worries, man.
No worries.
I get it. I so get it. So that with that investigation roll, Copernicus, you're able to slowly track this sound through the castle, the nighttime castle. It comes and goes. You hear these moaning noises. So it takes you a while. You have to kind of like stop every once in a while and just stand perfectly still and listen until, of all of the weird night noises of the castle, you pick up the one that sounds like Barb again. And it leads you to the southernmost tower of the castle, the one that would actually look out over the. In fact, actually, this tower is in chunks because you come up to a certain height and then it actually ends, and then there's like a exposed rope-based spiraling staircase to go up to the next part of the tower, which is a big floating rock in the sky.
Sweet. Love
But
it.
you end up making your way up to the actual sort of heights of this tower, which look out over the broken lands to the south, where you in fact just had all your adventures. And as you do so, that sound gets larger or louder, and when you get to sort of the top, there's a big locked oaken heavy door, and the sound seems to be coming from behind it.
All right, I'm gonna what's the character limit on a Perni net text? Because I want to update the directions for which way I've been going, so that if they have to come bail me out, they can
I
find
mean,
me.
I think it's kind of limitless because like you can just keep doing them. Like there's no limit to the number of times you can do it. So even if it's like a sending spell, you just keep doing them. So
Okay. All right, then.
And then you have to stand there
yeah.
and count, which is
Yeah,
always
yeah.
awkward.
Definitely.
see, okay, just a sudden. I've always been amused by this. There is no character limit on the sending spell. It's a word limit, right? So the smart thing to do is to always send your messages in like German or some other language
You can just
where
smush
single
them.
words
Can get
are
smooshed
like
together.
big long multi-word sentences, and then you can just get like a novel into your 20-word limit.
Love it. I think what I will do is prepare a bunch of sendings. I guess if they send simultaneously, though, it'll all be gibberish. Well, anyway, I'll try to be very economical with my, like, corridor. Right. Upstairs. And leave a little trail of Perni crumbs. And then I'm going to investigate this
crumbs.
door before
Why
I
does
just
that
throw it
sound
open.
awful to me? Perni crumbs.
You just crumble off a bit of my dying skin and leave a little
That's good.
You.
trail behind me. A little trail of hard candy and dandruff.
Mhm.
Blood drops.
Yeah, so I want to like take a look at the door, check for traps and magic and anything weird about it before I open it.
Okay.
Looks good.
Well, so the door is locked is the major issue.
All right, but it's not. The door is not going to try and like eat me or send me to another realm, as far as I can tell.
I mean, it seems like a normal door. You can actually look at it with your magic sight, and it doesn't appear to be.
I'll
Yeah, it
blast
doesn't appear to be magic.
I'll actually blast Ghost of the Gaze at this thing.
Oh,
Sure,
nice.
Ghost of the Gaze. You can see right through the door, and you
Yeah.
determine that there is nothing in this room. It is a big empty room with a couple of chairs in it, nothing much else.
Okay.
There's a huge open window / doorway on one side that leads to a little sort of balcony.
Okay. Oh, a balcony, eh? I'm gonna fly over to that and try that door.
Oh yeah, you levitate now.
I got my boots.
Nice,
I got my
fancy.
boots.
So you want to try and go back. You want to go back down to like the stairwell that's open, and then fly up to the balcony that way instead of going through the door. Is that what you're saying?
I thought that the balcony is off of the room that I can see into with my ghostly gaze.
It is, but you can't get into that room without opening the door.
Right, but if it's but I want to get into it through the balcony because I can just fly over
Yeah,
the
yeah.
top.
So what I said. Well, right now you're inside the tower. You're on a stairwell.
Okay.
So you have to go back. So you just go back down to when the stairwell was like open to the air because it was like rope ladders,
Oh, gotcha.
and then you
I
can
didn't realize
fly
it
up
was,
to the balcony.
because it was a rope thingy. I thought it was more open and not less enclosed. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I will go back down to where I can exit this, and then we'll fly on up to that balcony and have a little look-see at that door.
There we go. There's a way to spend my channel points.
Just gonna put
Put
emotes.
sunglasses on hot trash.
Good.
Oh
Hey.
yeah.
Now it's cool trash.
Now it's cool hot trash. Hot, cool trash.
I should try to get some emotes for next stream.
Okay,
Some
so
new-
yeah, you make your way up to the balcony, and as you approach it, you think you hear like the tail end of like of a noise that sounded like Barb, but there's nothing here. There's no one here, and you look around and you notice out in the distance in the horizon, like out towards the south, back in the Broken Lands where you came from, you actually see what looks like almost like a spark of green light glowing in the hills. Like there might be some sort of green energy like glowing down amongst the rocks of a ravine somewhere. And as you make note of that, you hear fairly clearly Barb's voice saying, Perni, so weak. Where are you?
I've heard this before. This is how she asks for post-coital snacks. And if I've gotten distracted, I know this exactly. Okay. I am going to
When?
I'm gonna try and kick down the door. My mighty
You're
little
sure?
hands.
Sorry, why you want to go back to the door?
Oh, so I've gone up to the balcony.
Yeah,
Is that
you're on
correct?
the balcony.
Sorry, is the voice coming from the direction of the Badlands? I thought that was happening.
It's
separately.
coming from like nowhere. Like you can just hear this voice from within this room.
And
It
am I
is a
in the room or
ghostly
am I on the
voice. It's
balcony?
like mostly in your mind.
Okay, mostly my mind. All right.
This is something you're fairly used to, right? Because it's like a haunting thing,
Yeah.
and that's like your normal deal is that like you are haunted
Haunted by
by-
Barb.
by Barb and the spirits that Barb haunts you with.
If I had to guess, do I think that she was doing like hot, cold to get me to come to the balcony to see the light, and there's nothing in the room of note or importance? Or do I think she was getting me to come to the room, or am I going to have to do this the investigative way, trial and error?
You I would say that you probably don't you're not really sure what her motives might be for getting you up here, but like this seems like kind of classic haunting behavior and things. You strongly suspect, just like without rolling anything, just like basic geography, that light that you can see is probably coming from the place where the portal was, like where you guys were when you almost got sucked into your own shadow and into whatever realm was there.
Okay.
You believe, actually make me an Arcana check and I'll let you know sort of how much information you can get out of this
All right.
without actually going back out there and investigating.
Stay with me, good rolls. Hey, yeah. This is we're on a
I mean, you do have a
roll.
plus 10, so you know.
26.
Nice. So you suspect that what you're seeing with that green light is more like an overlay on reality rather than a reality itself,
Okay.
because you were just kind of like magically perceiving, and you are trying to sort of, while you're trying to pursue being haunted. Like it's a weird situation where you're kind of doing the opposite of what most people do, where you're trying to like make the haunting worse instead of better, and lean into it. So you think that what you are seeing out there, that energy, is like a footprint, like that left behind, on the reality of the place where a portal or a link was made, and because you're being haunted by Barb, um, and her spirit is connected to that place. You think that it's less that she was trying to lead you there, and more like that's where you're hearing it come from or reach from.
Yeah, that's the cell phone mast from which I'm getting my current Barb texts. All right. Well, then I'm going in this room. I think it's the room that I should be going into.
The room, so the balcony is like the opening to the balcony is wide open. It's done. There's no door. It's just a big open stone archway.
Okay.
So you're kind of in the room, like you're just sort of like on the balcony part of the room. Like
All
just
right.
take a couple steps and you're in the room.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it recklessly, and I'm investigating these chairs and anything else there is to see.
Nothing particularly, but you do feel like this room, being in sight of the that pinpoint out there, is probably the best place from which to try to commune. You think you might want to read up some more on haunting to try and figure out exactly, like, that you are haunted by Barb to some degree. You don't know if you are no longer haunted by Barb. Maybe that's part of what's happened. Maybe you've undone the haunting. You don't feel exercised,
Yeah,
but maybe you've been getting too much exercise,
that's true. We did a lot of
and that
walking.
was the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, for a lot of walking for a guy with no legs, it's pretty
Yeah.
impressive. But it gives you a thought that maybe the place to go back into those books is less now specifically about this. You've got a lead on this Shukek Za thing,
Mhm.
but maybe
this new
something more about the
nature
haunting.
of haunting. Okay. Well, I am going to go back and research haunting more, but I feel like this riveting series of Perni going through books and academic stuff is
Oh, no,
better in montage than it is in.
don't
in
worry.
role.
As you go back to the library and begin reading some more, this has been much of the night, and in fact, there's beginning to be more people in the library. So meanwhile, the rest of you, um, awakening in the morning, Tromlin, you're of course awakened quite early, by your various, demon buglets,
Of course.
being particularly rambunctious, as is normal. And you notice fairly quickly that everybody else is in the little dorm room that they gave you guys, but Grandpa Perni is nowhere to be seen.
I mean, I'm sure we're kind of used to him randomly running off at this point.
Hmm.
I'm not too worried about it yet.
I think.
We'll say he even maybe left a note that just says "Gone librarian."
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing I would do. And I think you probably noticed like Perni's behavior has obviously been very weird lately. He hasn't been
Well,
like
lost your
alone.
legs, lost your wife. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. He hasn't been alone in like 200 years. Like he's not been properly alone. So I think he's probably like vacillating between being like entirely lost in his head because like the world is just a different place without her in it, and
yeah.
then also being entirely like desperately needy for any kind of like presence of other people.
Aw.
Because again, loneliness is like it's so much more accentuated when he's always been hanging out with someone.
Yeah.
And that difference is a lot more noticeable when you're entirely on your own. So, yeah, it might be a little bit weird that he's not like sitting by the side of your bed, waiting for you to wake up
Staring
so
at you.
that you can talk.
Still, I trust him enough. Like, I'm not gonna freak out yet. So I'll get the kids their breakfast ready, and Are we close to figuring out which one's going to survive, which ones are done?
Yeah, are there like significantly less this morning, or?
So they just started running out of yolk on their little weird spider bodies, their little yolk sacs. Last time, so they've just started really earnestly going after each other. So in fact, when you check this morning, they are considerably larger. They're now like each of them is like, the size of your head instead of the size of a fist. And there's only like maybe a couple dozen of them in the sack. The sack is getting a little bit heavier because you have been feeding them now, and they've been growing from before they were living on their own yolk and then eating each other, and so the actual overall mass of the sack was not changing. But now all of the stuff in there is getting a little.
I'm going to sit them down and try to teach them some basic common.
Sure.
Like very basic cat, dog.
Aw,
These are all things they've eaten.
red.
Yeah, probably.
They really latch on to blood when you do that one, and then they just say it for everything.
Good.
You're like, cat blood, dog blood. You're like, well, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But
it runs in the family.
Yeah.
Wow.
The blood runs in the family. do beeps.
That's a blood relation.
So eventually this is going to wake up the others, Oogna and Fetid. You'll come around as the various chittering creatures. As you start like teaching them stuff, they're getting more rambunctious. They're also getting a little braver. So like when you open up the sack, they start like roving around. So they're kind of like crawling all over stuff in the room.
I'm gonna wake up just as Trey is like starting to like hunker down and try and pounce on one and be like, whoa, buddy, nope, none of that.
That won't end well.
No eating spiders.
It's like, I feel like you're pretty sure like last night at some point you like woke up and Trey had like a leg sticking out of his beak and you were like,
Nope.
And then it just kind of went, and it was gone. And you were like, I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that.
That was just a normal spider.
Why do I feel like our I don't want to call them pets because your children are not pets, but why do I feel like we have a pets version of like the fox, the chicken, and the grain?
Yep.
And like whenever we cross something, we're gonna have to like put one here and then swap that one and then take it back and then how do we cross the river?
One day the slime is just going to be a lot bigger and no one's going to be able to find any of the other pets.
Oh no.
I don't know. What did you guys end up doing with the slime? Like you were carrying it around while you were out in the wilds, but like, are you going to keep it in a sack?
I kind of assumed we were going to release him back into his home.
Yeah, after he like uncursed us, I assumed, but he'd be like, "Run free, little slime."
Does that sound about right? Fetid is the one who had him in a bag, so I'll leave it to.
That seems reasonable.
Your judgment.
Either that, or I would just eat him. One of those two.
Which do you prefer?
Well, everybody else wanted to let him go, so I guess we can let him go.
Okay.
I'm sure you could have a little nibble and then let the rest go.
You slavored a little bit. You scraped out the residue that was left in the bag and used it to season something. It's like acid slime.
Curdled olive oil.
Delicious.
Olive oil and slime mucus. Delicious. The best.
Remember, Randy draws Popeye, so he's going to get very weirded out if you talk too much about olive oil.
No, I'm just like trying to imagine what like virgin olive oil curdling. What would that even look like?
Olive oil's no virgin.
Don't get me fired, please.
Good.
Don't get me fired. I asked a little less.
So, yeah, you guys head ranging out of the place. You got a bunch of spider babies to round up.
Yep. So what do we want to do today, guys? I mean, the kids are saved. I don't know where we are.
Should we actually go back to our homes at this point?
Probably.
I mean, the whole point we were here to basically get rid of a certain debt.
we're done now, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe they can
Yeah, you
magic
haven't
us
actually
home,
heard.
so we don't have to like run all the way there. It's a long way.
What was
At
it,
this
Lee?
point, Copernicus comes back into the suite with a stack of books. Copernicus, a class started in the library, and they basically like were being a little noisy, and you were like, "All right, I'm gonna take these books back to my room."
Cool.
Oh,
Just
hey,
to
you
pull
got
you
an
all
early
together.
start. How you doing?
You know, keeping myself busy. Nice to have distractions. Trying to learn about the nature of haunting.
Oh,
Yeah, just a little light reading. Bonk! The stack is as tall as him.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Climb onto a footstool so I can open the top book and read it. I imagine that like mixed in here, there's a bunch of like weird like how to have sex with a ghost for like
Yep.
grieving widowers
Yep.
books.
Mm.
Haunted WikiHow.
So, so your loved one just died. One of the ghost books. One of the books is like an actual like ghost book, like it's an intangible book, and the other books are kind of that are on top of it are floating
Yeah,
in the stack. You know,
nice.
one of the books is like glowing green. So that one's like all ectoplasmic, and another one is just like glowing with eerie light. And you're all like, "Yeah, this is exactly what I
Yep.
expect the books in the library in this place to be like."
Good. He's having a great time. He's
Mhm.
in his element.
So what do you want to do here? You've got a bunch more research that you would want to do in this library. Maybe I'll let you guys just role play for a bit here,
Yeah.
since you just started talking about going home before Copernicus came in.
Yeah, there. I don't know if me being a rather oblivious person and that being a literal
Yeah.
flaw in my sheet. I think I'll need to be in the room with you saying that's happening for me to pick
Yeah.
up on that I just walked into a conversation
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
potentially.
I don't know if we want
I
to
would
go.
also like to maybe find a spell or something that could grow my hand back a little faster. That would
Yeah.
be nice. If that's a thing.
Only there's clerics. We could, see if we can get like some restoration spells.
Oh,
I can,
Drumlin,
It'd be
you
nice
weren't
to
there
get
when we all
my
had a
hand back.
dream. I mean, and we were maybe on a substance or two at the time, but we all had a dream about a cave somewhere out here nearby where there was a guy making, the sword. So I don't know if that's a
Weird.
thing we wanted to look into. I don't even know where to start looking for it, but I think the demon said that there was a place south of here.
And Wolf Boy pointed out a couple volcanoes nearby, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. It's kind of the opposite direction of home, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whip out my book and open it so that Tromlin can see. In the vision, I could see the sword complete, and I could see the missing rune. So we're this close to understanding what happened to that sword, and who
Well,
made
that's
it and
weird.
why.
That's really fucking weird.
Again, if this wasn't all just tripping real hard.
We were pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
Turn my back on y'all for a minute.
Just go to hell for like a few days.
Mm-hmm.
We stole an airship. I mean, borrowed. We borrowed it. We took
Yeah,
it
we
back.
borrowed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, took it back as if you released it into the wild and hope someone finds it.
Yeah.
It worked out great.
Yeah.
I'm
I've
sure they'll
decided,
find it.
canonically, in Perni's mind, this works out great, and the debt is paid.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've never before said that I would pay a debt later and then had it come back to bite me in some dark and eldritch way. Never in my life.
Nope.
It's all good.
I will just focus on my children.
I'm getting a little closer to learning how I might be able to find Barb again, but I think I'll need a little bit more time to study. And I haven't had a chance to start yet. I'm looking into what I know now. We have all the black steel runes, but it might be that it could be worth spending a couple days to get our bearings and figure out where we want to go from here. Both seem very important.
I don't have anywhere I need to be, and the food here is real good.
Oh, and it
At
might be that
I
the
start salivating all over the floor.
it's just like weird, like it's like a gross Adam's Family version of cafeteria food. Like
Yes.
I imagine like the
Basically,
It's like
gnocchi are all
eyeballs.
just jumbo maggots, and they're soaking in like
Mhm.
a. So I figure you'd be very happy, just like eating down
Yeah,
these
I'm into it.
industrial batch sizes of just like disgusting.
Mhm.
Like the
topsy
big
turvy animal.
kettle of green goop, but with like the hand that reaches out of it to hand you the ladle kind of thing.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh man, but it's the combination. It's like the Addams Family food, but like on the giant infinite filling trestle tables from Harry Potter, right? So it's just like there's just infinite food. You guys had to roll fetid back to the room last night.
And I will.
Just keeps magicking food appears.
Yep. I mean, I don't know when to stop unless the food is gone. And if it's
You're
never
like
gone,
you're like a horse.
yeah.
Well, you'll need calories to grow back that hand. You're a growing boy. I can also ask the infirmary to see if they have anything to help help bones grow back and
Yeah, I've
whatnot.
got a missing hand-itis.
I'll
You can
I'll describe
someone could make me an Arcana roll to figure out what would be the best way to assist fetid.
Yeah,
Arcana or religion, because it would be healing magic.
I have not rolled lower than a natural 16 so far this session. That's a
Ooh.
27.
Nice.
Nice.
All of the luck that
You
vanished
are-
in the Badlands is finally replenished.
You're
Yeah,
in your
what's
element
really
now.
needed. What's really needed here is a greater restoration spell, which is a cleric spell that is of the 5th level.
So you want a powerful cleric.
Which I mean, obviously in game you wouldn't say 5th level cleric. I don't know what
Yeah.
they would use. I remember in old school D&D they used to actually have like titles for the
Yes.
levels, so you could in game say, "I'm an acolyte," which would mean like you're a 3rd level cleric or whatever. We should bring that back.
I actually did like that. I'm not gonna lie, that was just kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, everybody, I'm old. But I do believe it's a 9th level cleric is what you would need to cast a 5th
So we need
level
like
spell.
a master cleric.
Mhm.
I think well I'll ask around the Sunshine School because I feel like they will have the best leads for who in close distance does magical healing for a price that won't require a blood debt.
Mhm. We've got enough of those already.
Yeah, sure. Blood and debts. I would say you can ask around the staff, and the other professors will will be able to say yes. There are multiple temples in the city that might have, a high priest who would be high enough level to cast, or whatever the term is that in world. I wouldn't say high enough level.
Skilled.
And imagine if like real world was like
I'm a high level
WoW
accountant.
kind of thing, and whenever you need to talk to someone, they have an exclamation point hovering above their head, and their health level is always there. You could always know if you're going to talk to someone who's having a bad mental health day because their indicator would be low, and you just kind of
Somebody's
easy.
got a red name, you know not to mess with them.
Yeah. Every month, everybody's challenge rating is hovering over them.
Yeah.
You know whether
Every autistic person's dream.
It does sound nice.
Yep.
Technically, it would be a high priest. It would be the one to cast it.
Yep.
So we need a
Or are
high
you looking
priest
at,
and a
like-
low priest.
You're looking
looked
at
at
old
the-
edition titles.
Yeah,
Good.
because it basically, like, even for a cleric, 9th level and above are considered high priests.
Cool.
Well, I'm gonna go find me a high priest.
Mm-hmm. Let's go wander
Is
this town.
is this a quest you're
Let's go
all
do
going
some
to do?
sightseeing.
Yeah,
Well, I
I'm
guess
gonna
I
come
should-
along.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
fun.
I'm not, because I feel weird about bringing the children of Loth into any temple.
That's cool. You can still take them out for a
You
walk.
don't have to go into the temples.
Yeah.
You
We can
just
chill
go along
outside.
with the group.
Bring a stroller along to keep them all
I'm a
together.
little nervous
Yeah.
about taking them in public.
If you had to take them in public anywhere, Dwymerdell is probably the place to do it, because remember how weird this town is.
Alright, also if we get like a baby carriage or like a pram or something, I can push them
A
around in.
pram, and you just put like
Pram.
the silken sack
In
full
it.
of children in it.
Perni could just make you a blood buggy.
Yeah.
Put them in
Yeah,
that.
they could
See,
eat
I-
it. They could eat it throughout the day.
But see, now here's the thing: I want like a pram, and I want to put like a cage, like the top part of a cage on top of it, so they can't get
Mhm.
out.
It's like a rolling terrarium.
Yep.
Basically, yes.
Do you want to try and bloodcraft that?
I mean, I can't bloodcraft the glass walls, but I can do the rest of it.
I mean, you could bars. That was
All
it
right.
was cage is what Randy's.
Oh, I
You're
was
going
imagining
for
like
it, so.
a terrarium, and then the top is like the cage thing that you like lift up
Mm.
and you drop the food in.
A blood pram is
Um,
very on brand for this town.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a blood pram. A blood pram cage.
Excellent.
Blood pram sounds like a band name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a death metal band.
Baby
We are
core.
Blood Pram.
Baby core death metal.
Mhm.
Baby core death metal. Yes. Isn't that just baby metal?
Basically.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Baby Metal's a band.
Yeah, that's
That's
what I
what I
meant.
assumed
Yeah.
the joke was. I'm gonna borrow some like blood from the cafeteria if I can. If there's something on the table that's blood
But
based.
you can get another sacrifice animal for the, if you need
Yeah.
it.
Sweet.
So you can absolutely get all the blood you need to make a blood crafted pram.
Alrighty. Am I
Excellent.
rolling anything? Can I take
Nope.
10 on this?
Why don't you let's see how elegant it is.
All
You
right.
can roll me a crafting roll. Make it a wisdom based.
Okay. So just a raw wisdom based roll.
Wisdom plus professional bonus. So
I don't
plus
know.
5, I think, is your total.
Oh. Natural one. Hold on.
Ooh.
No, this is not worth an inspiration.
The
Grandpa
website
made
has
it.
been recalled by the
Oopsie.
manufacturer after
As far as you can tell, it's
Elevate.
great. It came out
Okay.
fine. It's
I love-
perfectly good. There's
I love
nothing
that-
wrong with it,
Love
and
this.
definitely
this-
don't worry about the DM assuring you that
Good.
it's fine.
Good.
Perfect. Nothing is amiss, and this will certainly not literally
Yeah.
come back to literally bite us later.
Cool.
Great.
So you make a
Perfect.
blood pram. It's like a nice shiny black/red four-wheeled pram with a cage top and a swinging door that kind of opens at the back that you can open and shove your children into and lock it closed or latch it. It's got like a latch on it, like a bird cage.
I'm gonna on the side stencil, in blood, so not actually stenciling, but like Tromlin's treasures.
Oh.
Aw.
Oh, this is so
Good.
good.
Many
Okay.
babies on board.
It's just got like one of those little things that people put for their family with the two parents and a bunch of little baby stickers. And it's just got a whole lot of stickers, but you can like take them off as they eat each other.
Yeah.
That'd be a great
Pins.
enchantment.
Okay, so you head off into town to start. So the staff gives you some general directions to where
temple.
there's sort of a religious district in one part of the city, out towards the harbor on the east side of town is where you will find the most of the temples. There's not a ton of temples here. There's a temple of the north, as there is in Mud Hollow. The northern gods being commonly worshipped in the north, and you are still in the north. That said, Dwymerdell is, like I've been mentioning, a very weird place. So there's no like real particularly strict adherence to one religious style. And in fact, there are probably some like dark god temples specifically here, one would imagine. Warlock population being high,
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
that sort of thing. So you head off in that general direction, heading towards that district. And you make your way through town without too much incident. As I was describing before, even in the light of day, this place tends to feel like overcast and dim and creepy and weird. And there's lots of glowing fungus and moss and people. You walk past like strangely colored and shaped beings that can't really place what D&D race they fit into. And some of them have like the wrong numbers of like limbs or eyes or whatever for their supposed subtype.
This is fine.
There's like
This is great.
ghosts wandering around and nobody paying much attention to them.
I think I feel
lots of,
comfortable
like-
enough here that Trey can go on leash. He doesn't have to sit in the carrier today. I don't think anyone's gonna bat an eye if they see me walking an owlbear.
Mm-hmm. And you've got that little spring step thing that
Yeah.
the Maestro made for him, so you can try and walk
Get him
him
used
around
to
on that.
I gotta build up his strength.
Yeah.
They might bat an eye, but only because literally they have bats for eyes.
That's
and
true,
That's
yeah.
just what their
Yeah.
eyes do.
Yeah.
That does happen. There are some of those people here.
Their eye just goes like. Psh.
Yeah.
And you make your way through town and get closer to this kind of what some people were saying to as the cathedral district. But there's no like one major spire. There's no one cathedral. There's a bunch of like, in fact, it's kind of the opposite. There's like a large number of very dingy looking, kind of low scale, like temples, right? Like the kind of thing where it would be like if it was another town, it would be kind of disguised as a different building, so people wouldn't know the dark rites that take place there. But here, it's just kind of like it's not disguised, but like people don't have a lot of money, so it's not like fancy looking.
Like
It's
dark
just,
rites served here.
Yeah, Bob's house of sacrifice.
Good.
Mm,
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
it's like a Vegas chapel. Like
Yeah.
There's like hawkers on the streets.
Cut
like-
race, dark magic.
Hey, need some evil spirits.
Dirty tricks.
Like
Thunder
opening up
cheap.
their trench coat to show off a bunch of like. It's like a guy like opens his trench coat and it just goes like, whoa. A whole bunch of ghostly spirits come out, and then he's
Is
like
there-
scrambling around to try and get them back in the coat.
Is there a temple to Loth here?
There is, and in fact, you spot it from quite a ways away because it's got the Dark Lady statue that is like one of the common themes you see in Loth worship, where there's like this beautiful elven woman statue with all of these like spider legs that come around it and are kind of like clutching it.
I will take the babies to say, well, this is where you come from.
This is your mom.
This
This is mom.
is your grandma
Yeah, because
on the other side of the family.
Aw.
Yeah, because the avatar would be the mom,
Yeah.
so Loth
Yes.
would be grandma.
I will bring the babies into the temple, and try to instruct them in the proper way to honor their grandmother.
As you walk through the threshold of the temple, actually, everybody roll me a perception roll, including you, Randy.
Oof, that is ridiculously good for Oogna. That is a 18.
Oh wow.
Like almost as good as I can roll.
also an 18.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My goodness. Hey, everyone's gonna notice this.
24.
Ooh.
That's very, very good.
21.
Okay,
Damn.
so never mind. This scene is completely different. So as you walk across the threshold, you immediately notice almost like a slight burning sensation on your forehead, and everybody else immediately notices the symbol of Lolth, the holy symbol of Lolth, like the stylized web symbol glowing on your forehead, almost like that like weird like black light glow as it glows darkly on your forehead. The kind of thing where if it was in comics, you would like draw some it would be like in reverse with the black around it. And a bunch of the acolytes in this temple, because the thing is, a lot of these buildings aren't really quote unquote open to the public. It isn't the kind of places of worship where there's like a big, here's the pulpit and people are gonna come in and hear a sermon. It's more like, here is this dark shadowy place is where if you happen to serve this dark master, you may come in. So
do some
basically
dark
everyone
things.
in here is like a cleric. There isn't like a bunch of just random worshippers. So when you come in through the door with your crazy blood pram full of spiders and your friends behind you, looking weird, you know, everyone immediately kind of looks over. You know, maybe even someone nearby kind of makes a motion to kind of come over and be like, "I'm sorry, you can't just come in here." And they all stop dead, and a bunch of them like immediately drop to their knees.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Tromlin,
And
you got a thing here. A little something.
Little thing.
I'm picturing Oogna like licks her.
Yeah,
Trying to get the yeah.
Just get that for you.
Oh, it's really
Got
stuck
like
on there.
Yeah,
That's it, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, this isn't working. You have to grab a hanky and like spit in it.
I'm just shining
Maybe
shining
you
it
should
up.
just try licking his forehead directly rather than doing the thumb. That would.
He never lets me do that.
Are we really ready for a relationship to take that level?
I don't know. Anyway, you got a glowy thing. It's weird.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
As your hand moves away from your face, you see the light from your own forehead glowing onto your fingers.
It'd be good for reading at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you touch it and
Yeah.
you bring your fingers away and they're like smoking slightly. And one of the people in here, a dark elf, about 50% of the people in here are drow. And one
That
of the
makes sense.
drow, one of the drow, like with a fairly large headgear. So you're imagining, you know, based
Fancy.
on that whole on the Catholic scale of importance, where the hats get bigger and weirder. It's sort of probably someone important. Stops dead, staring at you, and the woman next to her says, "It's him."
Pardon? What about me?
And you know, having you responding to her, she like shrinks back, and the drow priestess is like, forgive me, forgive my acolyte. And she sort of like shoves her back, you know, like puts her hand on her face and like pushes her away.
She pie faces her. Get the fuck out of here!
And she says,
No scrubs.
my pardons, Lord. We did not know you would be coming so soon. The omens are so recent.
Yeah, well, I'm. It's daddy baby day. I point to the pram. As I do my usual count to make sure the right number are in there.
Yeah,
Couple less.
it's there's maybe a couple less, but you're not sure if
Okay,
they got out or if they've been eaten by the others.
Yeah, that's not great.
Let's take one or two of the stickers off the side.
There's a few legs, just individual legs loose in the bottom of the pram, but that could be molting. You're not sure, because they have been getting bigger. They have been molting. Like that's the big thing is frequently you'll see them eat one of them eating another, and you'll be like, oh God, I don't want it to be. And then you're like, oh wait, no, that's one of them eating
That's just a case.
the molted exoskeleton of another one.
Yeah.
Like, like at some point early on, you just were like, I'm just not going to keep track. This is too.
It's fine. It'll
Eventually, I'm supposed to end up with a smaller number, and we'll be where we're supposed to be. But because you can't even tell entirely when they're eating one another. They just always have a leg hanging out of their mouth, and you're like, is that your own leg that you just molted out of? Who knows? I can't tell unless I actually see you killing one of the other ones.
And I'm not allowed to really stop it, so.
And you never catch them, right? They always manage to do it when your back is turned. Am I right? Am I right, spider parents out there?
Yep.
All those spider toddler parents out there.
I have caught Velma so many times trying to hide the fact something is in her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And having to fish like a penny out from underneath her tongue that's probably been there for 3 hours.
Yep.
At least it's not like writhing demonic spider siblings. So
only because they're not handy. That's
look on the bright side.
Anyway, yes. Hi, I'm Tromlin. Currently a priest to Bloth, and these are my children. What's left of them?
Several of the several of the drow priests or priestesses are like kneeling around the pram and like making
Wheeling.
like complicated gestures at them. It's like a cross between like all the church ladies being like, "Oh, aren't they darling?" but also like worship of Lolth's offspring.
While this is happening, can Perni on the side quietly bloodcraft himself a like world's proudest grandpa shirt?
Aw.
You totally like you picked one up at a shop on the way, like as you were going through town.
Good.
The tackiest one I can find.
You got a mug and a T-shirt and
Little
a
pennant.
calendar.
Little
It's like
hat.
for a different year that's already passed. Like, but
Perfect.
A shirt that says
Every
Grandpa,
calendar.
like the
Mhm.
letters are stuck in a spider web.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
yeah, there's like a bunch of like there's a gift shop at the front of the Lolth temple that has like spider related stuff.
Good. I've got spider sunglasses.
Yep.
Mhm.
You like buy some spider plushies and like
Yep.
throw them into the cage and they're immediately consumed. And you're like,
Good.
that's
There
Good.
have to
my,
be spider
my
web
grandkids.
sunglasses out there.
Oh
somewhere.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
gotta be.
But yeah, I just kind of let them, as long as they're not annoying the kids, I don't care. The moment the kids get fussy,
It's like prayers to Lolth kind of stuff.
yeah, but the second the kids get fussy, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, we gotta stop that now.
Yeah.
They're getting upset.
Yep.
And
Don't get them all riled up.
Mm-hmm. Then they'll settle down for nap time.
The circle of drow like are just kind of chanting in unison, and the eyes of all the spider babies are just glowing and like throbbing brighter and brighter in unison with the chant. And you're like,
Oh,
okay,
good. Gotta recharge the
You're
babies.
getting them worked up. You're getting them
Good.
worked up.
Yeah.
I've got to deal with that later. You just
Yeah.
stop.
It's like strangers giving sugar to your kids.
Yeah.
It's like you
Yes,
played
I
Get out of
know
there.
they like it.
Yes.
They like it a little too much.
Look, I've got to deal with them when they're on like a worship high later, and they're just bouncing off the walls that
Yep.
they're also lighting on fire.
Yes.
No, and they're not interested in the tributes that I'm bringing them. When we leave the house, we don't stay home. They get to have the fun tributes.
But kids, we have tributes at home.
I was saying we have worship at
The
home.
tribute at home.
We have an altar at home. Yeah, beautiful.
Good.
Oh, this is good. Good content. So yeah, you quickly find out from with a few bit of exchange with this temple leader that their leadership at the temple, a couple of different priestesses, have had dreams of the coming of Lolth's grandchildren, that there would be that born unto the earth, and in particular they had dreamt of a high priest of Lolth, that would be the how would it be put, the like the caretaker of, or but I can't think of a good word for it, but like
The
the
steward.
The
yeah,
custodian.
the steward of
The
these
au pair.
offspring, the steward.
I'll nudge you in the elbow, or like elbow you in the ribs, and be like, "Are you a high priest now?"
I think only technically because I'm their dad.
Oh, good. I mean, congrats. That's a big deal. You can put that on your resume.
No,
Looks
I
real
probably
good.
shouldn't. I probably shouldn't. That probably get me in trouble later. Actually, I'm going to try to make an arrangement. If they would like to spend some time with the children, I would be happy to allow it. But I point to my friends who are missing limbs. Is it
Yep.
possible to arrange some restoration for my friends who suffered some surprise amputations due to a curse?
The the head priestess here will say, the high priestess is away in the north on business, but will be returning within a few days, and a greater restoration is within her powers for certain.
All right.
If this is you asked, this is a little thing that you ask of us. I'm trying to decide what term they're going to use for you, because there's going to be like a specific thing for the. It's like the terms that they use to talk about like Joseph in Christianity, because
Oh,
he's
No,
yeah.
not
she's
like,
just looking at what Joseph might be referred to.
Yeah.
yeah, he's like he's not like a special, you know, it's like
Consort.
a something adjacent to saint, but not like
Mm,
in the actual church hierarchy, because they wouldn't like put you as like, oh, you're the new high priest now, so you run this temple. But they're going to see you in a certain light.
The flip to that is, there's not a lot of stories about Joseph taking Jesus out in a blood
Out and about.
pram.
I like the goddess consort here, but I think my favorite, and this is in the chat, my favorite here is side piece of Lolth. I think
here's some-
holy consort is a
Yeah.
I think
One
that's
second.
absolutely what they're going to call you.
1 second, I need to grab my power cord because my computer's about to die.
Yep.
Man, there's some titles.
Are you looking up some stuff?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Mirror of Patience, the Most Just,
Yeah, there's
Pillar of Families, Hope of the Sick, Terror of Demons.
These don't sound like Tromlin.
No. Like unholy consort. That's very good.
Unholy Conqueror.
That's very good. But not for Joseph. That's more for Tromlin.
Side piece / high priest.
because the thing is that high priest in this case we're using it as a
Yeah.
a
More
level
of an
thing.
honorary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas if we're saying that that's a level thing, then obviously you wouldn't have
Emissary
hit
of
that. But
the
I
emissary of Lost
like
Brood.
I like holy consort. I think I'm going to go with that. Holy consort, and like whatever a Latin term for
Cherished of
babysitter
Loth.
would be.
Yeah.
The caretaker of the.
Known by Loth.
Baby daddy of Wolf.
Yep.
All right, for next game, I'm going to look up a Latin translation for baby daddy.
It would Puertata. Puertata.
Good.
I looked up in English to Latin.
Oh, good.
Nice.
High
Because Tata is, father.
Right.
Right.
Yep. I am the baby daddy.
It sounds like dirty though. I am the puertata.
Well, I mean, I did fuck an avatar to a spider gods.
All right, that'll do. Puertata of Lolth. Holy puertata. So it sounds like it's Spanish for potato.
Does.
I will say, if
Holy
I see
consort.
anyone, like, doing anything that I consider spoiling the kids, I'm like, okay, I'm still their dad. We're not
Potato.
spoiling them. No candy. You're not going to ruin their dinner.
Un potato.
I'm sorry.
There are still
What?
rules at Grandma's house. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like you quickly
babies.
This is
There's
definitely Grandma's
quickly-
house.
nearing almost a fever pitch amongst the priestesses where they're like trying to like they get in the front so they can like bleed themselves into the pram, and you're like, no, they've had enough blood already. We don't need to.
I will basically promise them, like, look, they will be here more than once. This is not the last time you'll see them. I promise. Everyone will get a chance to have some time with the babies.
Yeah, so they're very excited that like and some of the priestesses will be like, what's the Lady Weft like they're trying to get some inside info.
She is a caring mother. A fair judge. A generous lover.
I'm just imagining the lady Weft suddenly like kicking down the door. I'm a bitch. I'm a lover.
Good.
I'm a big ol' spider mother.
Excellent. This is just the best content. So yeah, it sounds like you can arrange within a couple of days whenever the high priestess comes back. Should have no problem casting a greater restoration on your friend and
Amazing.
regenerating a hand.
I like
It
that.
sounds pretty good.
All right.
So what else do you want to accomplish while you're out and about here? I'll remind you that you have yet to make contact with the Mud Hollow Thieves Guild
Oh, right.
regarding the whole payment situation. You made your delivery, and presumably word has gotten back and everything is cool now, but you haven't actually spoken with anyone. Now I am assuming you were planning to like go home and do that, but
That
now
was
there's
the plan.
some question about whether you're going to go home right away.
If we
Perni
see some
definitely
thief
was.
signs, though, we could potentially look up something here.
Mm.
I guess we could try to have a message delivered.
Yeah, you would definitely, as a guild member, you would know that you can send word through the proper channels by just finding some local thieves and sending a message. What do you want the content of that message to be?
Obviously it has to be in Thieves' Cant.
Yeah.
Or some type of code. I will give the date of the mission being accomplished, so they know when it happened exactly. Our current location. We are recovering from a recent battle. Estimate our return to be on X date.
Cool. I don't think you need to make any kind of a roll for that. You begin sort of hunting around for signs. Again, Dwymerdell is one of the everything about Dwymerdell is weird. There's no real here's the part of town where the rich people live and here's the part of town where the poor people live, like there is in Mud Hollow and Ravenfall and all these other towns you've been to. Just like Fetid, when he went looking to make contact with the local Quaggles and found that they're kind of, just small weird creatures that live underground as opposed to the big weird creatures that don't. And in fact, there are small weird creatures living above ground and big weird creatures living underground. And it's just Dwymerdell. There aren't as many sort of like clear, obvious. This is the one sort of dive area. The best you can do, and this is similar to when you guys first came here with your cargo, is to check in sort of the harbor district, like specifically in the areas where people come and go from the city, and sure enough, in the edges of the marketplace near the Great North Road, Dwymerdell is kind of the terminus of the Great Ring Road that comes all the way around the Evermere. Because there's nothing really south of it. When the road comes to Dwymerdell, there's no need to take the road further into the undead, ravaged, broken lands. So the road just ends there. So it basically ends at the Dwymerdell marketplace. It's basically the terminus of the Great Ring Road. Whereas the other side of the Great Ring Road, people will argue about exactly where it terminates. Some would say Karsh, because beyond Karsh, it's just little towns until you get to the Ibetian Empire. And that's clearly not the north. So that's not part of the Great Northern Road, the Great Ring Road of the north. But it's the same road, right? Like when you go around that side and you keep going south, you can keep going south, right? Not the same on this side of the road where it actually has a very severe dead end. So that area, that marketplace, is a good place to go to find the kinds of cutthroats and people looking for thieves' work that have recently come to the city or are going out of the city. And the same is true of the harbor where the ships come. So without too much difficulty, you find some people lurking near an alleyway at the edge of the marketplace, making thieves can't hand gestures at somewhere else. You're pretty sure you just witnessed not an actual pickpocketing, but a handoff. You think you just watched somebody who had just recently picked someone's pocket, making the thieves can't hand gestures to someone in the alleyway to say, let me know when the coast is clear to pass this over. Okay, now. And then they walk by each other. None of your business. Don't know if you really care, but
Yeah.
you figure that's someone you can get to send a message through.
Okay. I will attempt to hire them to do so.
And it is a younger, I'm going to say it's a younger Hispanic looking lady who if such a thing is possible, which maybe it is in D&D, I don't know. This person is a half tabaxi because she looks like an anime cat girl, except that it's real. Like there's tabaxi cat features on this human. But otherwise she looks like I forget the actress's name, but the new Wednesday Addams.
Okay. Did she say neon a lot?
Yeah.
What's that?
Did she say neon a lot? A lot
Nan.
Neon.
That's her code word that she says when the other person passes off the pocket pick. She's Nan, and then she does a caramel dance, or whatever it's
boy.
called.
Good.
No, she doesn't, because she's deliberately trying not to draw attention to herself. She does the opposite of that. Whatever the opposite of caramel dancing
Is she a
she
black
does
cat?
that.
She's like
Well, she's
black furred
like
ears.
Wednesday Addams, of
Good.
course.
Yes.
It's weird. Like imagine like cat ears, but on a human. It's like there's thin black fur on them. Like it's more like someone's actual black, like with black hair.
Yeah.
But on that shape of weird cat ears.
Fair enough.
A real life cat girl would look really kind of freaky and gross.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it would.
You come over
Alright.
as she's trying to look casual because she doesn't want to think that you might have spotted her making gestures, so she starts like doing this.
I will, in Thieves Can't say, are you open to do deliveries?
She like looks visibly relieved for a split second,
I say that while I'm looking at other things nearby, so
yeah.
I'm not like dropping
as one does in Thieves Can't. But she does look visibly relieved for a second, knowing that she hasn't been made, and goes makes a motion back that basically amounts to like maybe who's asking / how much.
Just a simple message to the Mud Hollow Thieves Guild.
Do you specify Fat Benny
No, I would probably have it delivered to his
to Quorm?
Quorm, yeah.
Yeah, Quorm
Benny's too
Leatherback,
busy.
the turtle,
Yeah. Like, I
the
imagine
right
that's
hand
what I do
turtle.
with- yeah.
Sounds good. You quickly haggle, like from everybody else's perspective. There's like just some weird like movements of knuckles at each other, and this is basically two people like giving numbers at each other. You know, this high, no, down here, down here, until you settle on a price.
I don't notice even slightly.
Yep.
Trum's just standing there staring at
You're
the
like,
ocean.
It's Trumlin often has this weird nervous tick that he does where his knuckles kind of move like this. It's weird. It's weird. You've often
It's
wondered
rude to
if maybe
comment
he
on
should
it.
seek some medical assistance with it.
It's fine.
But
He
it's
doesn't
kind
think
of
it's a
endearing.
problem. I don't think it's a problem.
Probably fine.
He's happy
It's-
with it.
It's fine.
And it's common. You've seen other people do it back to him too.
Yeah.
Like it's a common tick. Yeah, you settle on the price, and basically it's just now you just have to pass off a note to her.
I pass that note off.
So what does it say exactly? Or generally, at least.
Objective achieved on date. Currently held over. Will be home hopefully by date.
What are you giving yourself for a date there? Like a couple of weeks?
I'll say about 2 weeks.
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah, you make a. Go ahead and roll me your sleight of hand for the pass off.
All right.
See how completely unnoticed it goes.
All right.
Oh, I was like, your sleight of hand's only is zero. Is zero? It was. I was looking at Copernicus.
Oh.
No,
like,
it
that's-
is not.
Makes a little more sense for me.
Like,
You're really
And I-
only good at like the finding a coin behind the little kid's ear trick.
Yeah.
they
I
roll
can
I'm
also
also-
do it with hard candy, but yeah.
I'm also going to give you advantage on the roll, Randy, because you can use your mage hand to do this.
Okay. All right. So let's see. That's one roll then. Let's see the second roll. I'm thinking my second roll, which would be a 22.
So yeah, so that's you take the note, kind of drop it in the crowd, and then keeping an eye on it at the corner of your eye, you mage hand it over and basically put it in her hand while she's just standing nonchalantly, and she sort of like almost like kind of starts, but like controls it very well. You just see it in her eye that she's like, oh, magic, and then she deliberately looks away, bored, as she like stashes it in a pocket and does like a a bored cat thing. Her tail lashes around.
Thank her and move the fuck on. My business is done.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to accomplish before you head back to the school?
No.
Any weird shopping you want to do in Dwymerdell? It's a weird place.
This is the moment where Perni, in his grief, buys a body pillow.
Oh.
Only it's an actual body.
It's an animated. It's like a flesh golem.
Uh,
It's like an anime pillow, but it's animated.
It's just
Oh,
got a bucket
sure.
painted on it.
yep. A bucket Nakimakura.
Yes.
You just get one without a head, and then you can just stick Barb's
Yeah,
bucket
yeah.
in that place.
Is that what we basically did so he could dance with her?
Yep.
Oh no.
Is there anywhere out in the city that like would have good and relevant books or researchers or other libraries that could be worth a little look-see?
Well, for sure there might be. What specifically are you looking for? Are you looking for more of the haunty kind of stuff, or is this more related to the other research you wanted to do?
Probably.
You haven't even tried that at the school yet.
Yeah, so maybe I'll take another run at some of the Ix and Shukek stuff, just so that just to cover all my base. Actually, no, you know what? Perni really wants to know about the haunting stuff. He might come back out if he finds a place that's got a good library,
Sure.
but I think he's interested in haunting stuff, and that seems to be like this city's specialty.
Mm.
If you
Do
can
you
haunt
bring
here,
this
you
up-
can haunt anywhere. That's what they
Do you bring
say.
this up with the others?
I think personally, I might go poke around some of the libraries and see if I can find a little bit more. Would anyone like to come along? We can also do some looking for black steel swords and the history of where they were forged, and see if there was any
Oh.
known forges in the areas around here. It'd be a good place to find that local lore.
Yeah, I'll help with that.
2 questions. One, equipment question for Lane. My daggers are just regular ass daggers, right? They're not magical in any way.
Correct.
Okay. I might want to look into getting a magical knife of some sort, just so I have something that I can operate one-handed that isn't a gun.
Yeah.
I think the not having one hand has gotten to me a little bit, so I feel like Fetid is probably looking to upgrade his knifery to something he could throw if necessary and have return.
For sure. So you actually have information gathering abilities, you guys, on your character sheets. A couple of you have contacts.
Yeah.
So if you want to try and find out where in this town you might be able to, for example, buy something of that nature, or find something, a place where some bookstore might sell obscure books about ghosts, you could poke around using your contacts.
Yeah, that's a good
I guess
idea. I think I would like to do
Uh,
that.
I will do the same with my contacts to help
Yep,
them
with
out.
your guild contacts.
Yep. My friends in bad places.
Indeed.
My contacts are extended family, and I feel like I've tapped that pretty hard already.
Yeah.
No, yours is different. So both Fetid and Tromlin have specifically the background feature contacts,
Nice.
which refers to gathering information.
Mm.
Tromlin's contacts are Thieves Guild people, and Fetid's are Quaggles. So I'll split this up with a little poking around. So Tromlin, you may be, you at the marketplace, you spotted a few other people that were like part of that pickpocketing scheme. So you can easily single someone out to catch their eye with a Thieves Guild or with a Thieves Cant. Hey, I want to talk to you kind of sign. Go down a side alley and they kind of cautiously poke in and you basically get into a conversation with them where you say, hey, I'm looking for this. And so you're interested in specifically magic daggers
Yep.
is the right and so a place that would sell things like simple magic weapons, but like magic daggers, fairly basic weapons, not like fancy swords and things like that. And then also occult bookstore type places that would have information on ghosts. Is that fair
I think so.
description, Peter?
I imagine this
So
town
what
is
you would
like
say?
wall-to-wall occult bookstores.
Yeah, yeah. I figure there's just like an alley of like
Yep.
an entire dark alley of just like weird haunted used books. I don't think new books
Yeah.
exist in this city. I don't think.
No.
No, it's gonna be like the Nocturne Alley in Potter. So you do a similar thing, Fetid, with you go down to the nearest sort of sewer grate and look for who's hanging around and start asking around of some of the weird. You find like some more of those strange glowing gnomes that you encountered when you first came here, and they're like, there's like two of them that are hanging out glowing. One of them glows like weird blue, and the other one's kind of pink. And there's
Whoa.
and they're hanging out with with an imp that's like literally red skinned little devil guy with wings. Like they're all like under 3 feet high, and they're all just kind of chatting, swapping a cigarette, with with like a sleek black ratkin, and you go down and you're like, hey, and you wave your stump, and they'll ask you as well what you're looking for, and you basically give them the same. Tromlin, the thieves will let you know where good areas are to buy magic trinkets. Magic weapons are, somewhat, they're not like, you can't openly sell. It's not like the United States where you can have a gun store that's like right next to the the baby clothes store. It's more like, it's not like it's illegal exactly, but it's controlled. So they would let you know, like, well, you want to get the best stuff, here's where you want to go, and you want to ask after this name. So they give you like you want to talk to Jimmy No Fingers.
I don't know if I want to buy a dagger from a guy whose name is Jimmy No Fingers.
No, his name is.
Well,
his
you
name
don't
is,
have so many fingers yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
His name is Jimmy No Fingers. No, I've already decided in my head what he is, so we're gonna meet him after the break.
Good.
They say you want to talk to Jimmy No Fingers. He knows all the best magic smiths in town.
It's actually Knopfinger. It's a northern name. It's real traditional.
And they give you the name of a tavern where you're likely to find him, which is the let's call it the Jaunty Fish.
Great.
is the name of the pub down by the docks.
Also, in Perni's habit of having very pleasant and wholesome explanations for otherwise dark-sounding names, Jimmy No Fingers is called that because he never fingers anyone. He never blames anyone else for his problems. He always takes responsibility fully by himself, and he's really known for it. Jimmy No Fingers.
He doesn't finger anyone, and you'll soon find out why.
That sounds dirty.
Yep. Deliberately so.
I also love that you come up with like pub names the way I do in my Sunday game, because like my players can't we're trying to find a strip club to gather information. It's like you find a shady strip club. What's it called? Loose Lips. And there's just a long, desperate quiet.
Good.
Oh boy.
That's right.
Good.
Yeah, baby, it sinks ships all right.
No, loose lips float boats.
Oh no.
And Fetid, your Quaggle buddies tell you that there's a lot of bookstores in town, and it's real sort of hit and miss what kind of weird, obscure stuff they have. But it sounds like you want ghost stuff. You should go talk to. I'm going to steal a name for this one because it just jumped in my head. Madam Mim.
Oh, good.
Madam Mim's.
Good.
Madam Mim's Ghostoporium.
Ectoporium.
Yeah, she's like a fortune teller witch lady.
Okay.
She knows from ghosts. You want to
Right,
probably
since
won't be
you brought-
Ghostoporium. Something more. I'll come up with something more amusing after the break. But
Spectralarium.
Madam Mim.
Since you brought up Disney shit, I have to say this. It's your fucking fault. Madame Mim was not in the original book that's based off of Sword in the Stone,
No, she
but
wasn't.
she was added in later because the author loved her so much.
Oh, good.
That's amazing. That's
Apparently-
awesome.
Yeah. Apparently, I've never read the book, but apparently he put her in a later edition.
Oh, good.
Huh.
She is a
That's
fun
cool.
character.
She's very good.
I mean, I'm trying to remember the name of the voice actress because she was so good.
Oh, they actually have her in the parks now. Like they actually had an actress.
Oh, cool.
playing her
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
recent part.
But I understand the origins of that character were basically that voice actress just like knocked it out of the park, and they like really built the role around the voice she came up
It
with.
happens a lot with old Disney, like where they're like,
Yeah.
this person's just too good. We have to
Mhm.
find some reason. She was
Yeah.
like, that's the best part of that movie.
Oh,
to be
yeah.
honest. Also in Discord, I am putting some art. Oh, not Discord. I'm on Twitter. DM.
Sounds good.
Ooh,
Well,
art.
let's take a break here,
All right.
and we'll start next time by showing off some amusing art for the chat. So we are going to take a break. We'll see you in about 10 or so. Y'all trash heroes. You're all heroes to us
No,
trash heroes.
We'll see you in 10:15.